My level of enthusiasm that I had.
I think the passion of flying.
All the sensors. I got into everything.
My rapport with the officers.
Well, my knowledge of how to track a submarine.
Acoustics.
I felt like acoustic analysis was my thing.
I was really good at the acoustics.
Everything. to answer your question, everything. Nobody's better than me. And if you think different of yourself, then you don't belong in the business.
That's a great question. And I think probably what I would say is just my level of enthusiasm that I had for the community and for the product that we were. I mean, we provided stuff that nobody else could provide. I mean, the pilot, co-pilot, TACO, they were all reliant on us to provide them the information to do the job they needed to do. So we ended up, giving them anything that they needed. They were basically just following what we were giving them. And, I think the other thing was it gave me an opportunity to explore some things that I didn't even know I was capable of. Being able to communicate better, being able to understand how systems work, being able to, work with instructors and teachers and systems and, things that I didn't even suspect I would need later on in life.
I did well when I went through the RAG as a student, and then when I came back as an instructor, Larry Anderson and I spent a lot of time in Unit 3, which was, back then that was acoustic analysis, and that was probably my favorite thing to teach.
I think the passion of flying and having a job. I love the job, and I love the people I was doing it with. And for me, I was just a young kid, and felt like I was kind of standing on the shoulder of giants, and I wanted to be good. And I worked at being good. Yeah, I think passion when I was younger would be the number one answer for that.
I know I made a joke earlier saying I didn't get along with officers, but actually my rapport with them was really good. They respected me as I respected them, but yet I was not intimidated by flying with 3 officers. And God forbid somebody try to question my professional opinion, because I felt that was my seat, that was my station. I know how to run it. You do your job, I'll do mine. So I think my cockiness, my arrogance, I think my rapport with the officers really helped a lot, though. Because a lot of them could have been, hey, well, we just don't want to fly with this guy because, But I was never intimidated by officers.
I think I was pretty good.
Yeah.
I won the Wolf Hunt as an AW, and then we won it again when I was a pilot, but I wasn't doing the work the guys in the back were. I was just went where they told me.
PS-41, I was teaching acoustics primarily, and I loved acoustics. Again, being a former VP, I had a lot of top time on Soviet submarines, so I brought that over with me, and I think that was what I was also wanting to do is, continue the training with the SENSOs to see if we can get some more contact time on Russian submarines.
What I realized or learned about myself was the analytics, the strategic part of the analytics, looking at the pepper through the salt, right? And then the radar, the ISAR radar. For some reason, I just took to that and was really, really good at interpreting. Again, I think it goes to the analytics side of it, was, the ISAR and the acoustics were really my strong points from an analysis standpoint and a strategic mindset. And I really meshed with that part of how do we approach the problem, right? And it's served me well because it really honed my skills in those areas. It served me well after.
The only bad thing was that I only had one subcontact in all the time I was with the S-3. And it was in 86, I was on Enterprise, and we did a debt to Sigonella. And I was on there, and They said, hey, okay, we're going out. We got an anchorage out there with a bunch of Russian ships, and there's a Russian sub out there. And I'm like, cool. So needless to say, when I went out to the bird, I had food, soda, the whole thing. And they're like, how come you're so happy? I says, this is like being in a P3. The only thing I'm not getting is per diem. I got my food. I got my soda. Let's go get a sub. And it was a blast because there was a diesel. We went out there real low and quiet. And at the last minute, we popped up the buoys over water. And I'm looking at the diesel. And all of a sudden, the engine starts going down. I thought, ah! So we flew around and took pictures. And then we went away. And I'm watching. And all of a sudden, the engine came back online. I said, turn around. We'll go back at him. We did that about 4 times. We just made him go down, made him bring him up, made him go down. So that was the best flight in the S-3 because I actually had sub time.
All the sensors. I got into everything. I have short-term memory problems, so I was always having to study more than everybody else to maintain my knowledge. But in time, and with my background with VX1, they always came to me for different missions because they knew I had the ability to do multi missions.
I think a lot about it, though, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, how did that? We were young. Jesus Christ, we were in our 20s. You know, and as you're growing up, you're becoming an adult, and what am I going to do, right? And so my whole career in business and aerospace and defense has really been driven by what I did or became as a person because I was a SENSO in the S3. You know, so it really has formed my whole life, I think, at the end of the day, you know.
Agree with that.
In the BS community, and I'm going to go recent, which is now ancient, but let's talk about S3s. It's a platform and a job, a position where, irregardless of your pay grade, you are required to be as knowledgeable and as much of an expert as anybody else within your warfare specialty. Everything you do, you're graded. Everything. I don't care if you're an airman or you're a master chief. As a master chief, yeah, I still had to enter in all the sonobuoy load, just like the airman had to do, you know. No special favors. I still had to load the tape recorder. But yeah, and it's one of the few things where you had to go in and you had to have that attitude where nobody's better than me, and we were constantly trying to outdo one another. And I think that made us a better group of people. We were tested quarterly by the wing on our acoustic analysis expertise, and I believe, could be wrong, but I believe it was something like you had 10 separate contacts that you had to analyze down to specifics. And if you missed anything on that test, then you got extra duty. At least my guys did. And to a person, everybody in BS-21, we always aced that wing exam. Always. 10 out of 10. Nothing less was acceptable. And I didn't care. Everybody, that poor airman had to perform at my level. And that's just how it was. So that makes us unique, I think.